Hey guys, it's Crispy. I hope your week is going well. Mine's is going pretty great because tomorrow I'm gonna be going. Blah. I'm gonna see Renfield tomorrow, and by the end of this week, I'm gonna go see Beau is Afraid, and that made me want to make this video right here because there are many movies in 2023 that I am really excited to see, and I have a list right here. The first two being Renfield and Beau is Afraid, and I'm going to talk about Renfield. Renfield, I've been pretty excited about, but I haven't really known about it until till since like 2 months ago. Like I didn't even know that the movie was going to come out. I love Nicholas Holt. He's one of my favorite actors. Nicolas Cage playing Dracula is really interesting. I really like Aquafina as well. I think it's just the cast of characters and who's playing them is really what's getting me to want to watch this movie. The concept is interesting as well. To center a movie around the character Renfield is pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. It's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be a really good time watching it. But what I'm really, really excited for, this is one of my most anticipated movies this year, and it's going to come out next week, but I'm going to be watching it this weekend, is called Beau is Afraid. That's the movie starring Joaquin Phoenix. It's got Nathan Lane, Parker Posey, like a whole bunch of fucking people in this movie. It runs, I heard it runs 3 hours long. Like it's a 3 hour long movie, and from what I remember reading, Ari Aster had like a 4.5 hour cut of this movie, and he was supposed to play it for a festival, and I guess the studio A24 was asking him to cut the movie down, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not having that." And that was when the movie was titled Disappointment Boulevard. And I was always so excited for this. And even before I knew anything about the movie, I thought since it's Ari Aster, I feel like he's gonna have a scene with Joaquin Phoenix wearing no clothes and like just streaking naked. And my prediction was like he's gonna have Joaquin Phoenix naked in the movie for like an hour and 30 minutes because the movie's a 4.5 hour movie. Like I thought it was just gonna be some crazy shit. Like obviously there's gonna be a lot of surrealist and hallucinatory scenes in it with great visuals, and I'm expecting so much from this movie. But at the same time, it's not like I want to get my hopes really high with this movie, but I really can't help myself because I absolutely love the director, Ari Aster. He's an absolute visionary, a fucking master. Literally, probably like top two director of this generation. He's an absolute genius. I fucking love Ari Aster. All his short films are great. Beau is Afraid is based on a short film, and unfortunately, the main actor of the short film he passed away. That's who he was gonna have in this feature film, but instead, he settled for Joaquin Phoenix, which is great. Like Joaquin Phoenix is absolutely incredible. I love him in The Master. I'm not really that big of a fan of the Joker, although Joaquin literally saves that movie because I don't think that movie's all that great. But the movie's saved by Joaquin Phoenix's performance, and I think even if this movie has its weaker parts, I think Joaquin, as great as an incredible actor he is, he's gonna really add something to the movie. So yeah, Beau is Afraid. Another movie I'm looking forward to is Book Club: The Next Chapter, and I know some of you are gonna exit out of this video and be like, "Shut the fuck up." I don't know, man. I like these type of movies sometimes. Like I haven't really watched the first one, but I saw the trailer and I was just like, "Hey, they have a sequel coming out too," so I might just double it and watch it. But that's pretty much all it's based on. It's just sometimes there are these weird movies like 80 for Brady, and there's one that just came out with I think Lily Tomlin's in it, but it's like a revenge story where these two old women are trying to like get back at one of their old exes. But yeah, I kind of like movies like that. That like Banger Sisters from 2002, where you have all these like older actresses kind of getting together. They used to be real big stars back in like the, late 70s, early 80s, and then they just come back out of nowhere. Those are pretty interesting to me. But yeah, that's it. Hypnotic, directed by Robert Rodriguez. I'm excited for that one as well. I think that's gonna be coming out on Netflix, so I don't think I'm gonna have to be going to the cinema for that. But it's the cast, man. Ben Affleck. I think Jake Gyllenhaal is in it, but I'm not too sure. You can't quote me on that. But I know Jackie Earle Haley is in that as well, and it is Robert Rodriguez, and it's just nice to see that he's now in the mature route at this point, because he's been doing like a lot of kids movies for the past like couple decades. It feels like I know he's made a couple of like adult oriented movies like since then, like Machete and Machete Kills and stuff like that. But I'm really looking forward to him to do something like this, which seems like it's gonna be like a detective story type film. Um, I want to see what he's gonna do with that, so I'm excited for that movie. Um, uh, Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. I'm so excited. I love all his movies. There's some movies that I really don't care for, like the Royal Tenenbaums and like Rushmore. Like I know people love those movies, and those movies are pretty good. But I'm not as hype about it as a lot of people tend to be. Like my favorite of his tend to be like Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou and the Darjeeling Limited. The Darjeeling Limited is one of my favorite films of all time, like all time. So it's just nice. I know that his last movie that came out wasn't really that great, but I did love that he made an anthology movie. Like that was really nice to see that side of Wes Anderson where he compiles different stories and makes it into one film, and it all has a relation to the French Dispatch, the fictional or the fictional magazine in the movie, and that's the film that he did beforehand. It was called French Dispatch, and I thought it was pretty good. And I was really happy to see Jeffrey Wright in a Wes Anderson movie, and he's in this new one too, Asteroid City. I don't know really too much about it. I think it's set in like a fictional town where there's an asteroid that hit the Earth there, and that's kind of the town's known for. I try not to watch trailers. I do kind of read into the movies a little bit, but I don't do it all too much. I just kind of try to stay as clueless with these films as possible. Just know the titles, know that the director's in there and the actors, and I just approach a film that way. I at least try. Sometimes I can't help myself. Like I was reading Beau is Afraid reviews last night, like endlessly, like just reading every review. But anyway, the next movie that I'm excited for is Oppenheimer. That's actually my most anticipated movie this year, because it's Christopher Nolan getting back to doing like biography type movie. You know what I mean? Like a historical type movie based on true events. Not even based on true events. This is something that really happened, and it's based on a book that I'm actually gonna pick up. I'm gonna go to Barnes and Nobles and read it before I watch the film. Cillian Murphy is playing the titular character. Robert Downey Jr.'s in it. You got Josh Peck from Drake and Josh in it, which is awesome. I love sometimes how Christopher Nolan just adds these actors out of nowhere. Like, is that Tiny Lister from fucking Friday and The Dark Knight? What the fuck? Like, he'll just bring these people out of nowhere. Like, yo, what the fuck? Or like in The Dark Knight Rises, where the dude from Reno 911 shows up as like a doctor. Like, it's kind of cool. But regardless of that, I love Dunkirk. I actually watched that at the Dome in the Franklin Institute back in 2017, and the fucking auditorium was filled with women, just like not women, but like girls, like teenage girls, and I was like, what? Am I in the right theater? You know, because I was watching Dunkirk. I'm like, this is a war epic. Like, what the fuck are they doing here? And I just asked a lady. I just asked a girl next to me. I was like what's the occasion, like why is everybody wearing the same shirts? And the girl tells me Harry Styles, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, oh yeah, I forgot Harry Styles was in Dunkirk. And like that's the thing I'm telling you, like Christopher Nolan has really interesting cast choices. I read into that, and I remember him saying, he was like, or I didn't read into it, I saw an interview, and he said that Harry Styles, like he didn't know anything about One Direction really. He just knew his kids knew the guy. He wasn't really aware of it. He just thought that he did a good job in the audition. And I think Harry Styles is an okay actor. Like I never watched him in a movie and went like, oh my god, he's terrible. Like I saw Don't Worry, Darling, and I just thought he was okay. He was kind of subpar in the movie, but he wasn't like terrible. But anyway, I'm going a little bit too long. Oppenheimer is one of the movies I really want to see this year. Is my most anticipated movie. I can't wait till July. It's like 99 days left till that movie comes out. I love Christopher Nolan. He's like he's like one of Fritz Lang's fucking babies. You know what I mean? Like there came Fritz Lang. Fritz Lang had to crawl so fucking Christopher Nolan could fucking run. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really nice to see that he's still in the top of his game, and I don't think he's ever gonna stop. You know, like I think his weakest movie was probably Tenet, but Tenet was still a great movie. But yeah, next movie that I'm really looking forward to is TMNT Mutant Mayhem. uh, Seth Rogen, when it comes to him and him producing like movies and TV shows, he seems like he knows what he's doing. Like he provides the right cast of people. Not even the cast, the crew, the people that are behind making the movie. Like he's just really talented in doing that. And he obviously he gets help, but anytime I see Seth Rogen's name in something and it's like not acting like he's producing something, I know it's gonna be quality. It's weird to say. I'm sure people disagree with me. I don't know why, but I'm really excited about it. Plus, I love turtles. Like I absolutely love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have turtle merchandises that I probably shouldn't talk about. I think I'm wearing something right now that's Ninja Turtles. Um, but yeah, it's just an animated kids movie. The people that are the cast that are playing the turtles are actually kids, and that's pretty nice to hear. Like they usually just sound like very outdated, like dude, you know, and that time's kind of done. Like it's nice to see like an updated cast of the turtles that's more representative for the kids today. You know what I mean? And it really from what I saw in the trailer, it really looks like they're taking they're taking a chance to try to bring the kids in, which is not really hard, but also keep the fans that have been following the turtles since their conception. So that's really nice. The next movie that I'm really looking forward to is a really big surprise, and it's a really weird sounding movie, but Gran Turismo. Neil Blomkamp is freaking directing this, which is so weird. And from what I remember, it's actually based on a true story. This movie's based on a true story having to do with the Gran Turismo games. There's somebody that was really good at the Gran Turismo games, and then he actually became a real race car driver, and he learned to drive professionally from playing the Gran Turismo games, and that's what Neil Blomkamp is basing the product, or the film, and it is a product, the film on. And the last movie he did was Demonic, and that was a really shitty movie. I slept through that, but I liked his last three movies, even though they were kind of all the same. They like had the same look and feel to them, being District 9 set in South Africa. But then he tried to take a different route and do Demonic, and that came out during the pandemic, and I guess that didn't really fare well. I guess I'm unfairly criticizing Demonic, but it was pretty boring for me. But I should give it another try, because I do think that Neil Blomkamp is a very talented director, and I can't see him doing wrong with a a bio movie, like, so that'd be nice. Let's see other things. The next movie is The Last Voyage of the Meter, and that is an adaptation of a chapter from Dracula, which is interesting. And I've never read the book, so that's just something that I want to look into. I actually want to read the book Dracula because I'm gonna be seeing Renfield tomorrow. I've only seen the movies, like the old 1931 movies, like the original Dracula, the Spanish Dracula, Dracula's daughter, you know, all that type shit. So yeah, I just want to get into that, and I thought that was a really interesting thing. The next movie is also another movie which I haven't gotten into any of the other films. It's Equalizer 3. I've never seen the other two, so I'm gonna watch that one, but I am gonna watch the other two to prepare for this one. And it's kind of I haven't seen those movies, but I did see a clip of Equalizer 2, and I thought it was really badass, but I still haven't gotten to seeing it. The next movie is Killers of the Flower Moon, and I think that kind of speaks for itself because that's Martin Scorsese with Leonardo DiCaprio again, and he makes the best movies with Leonardo DiCaprio, like, because The Departed is my favorite Scorsese movie, like, hands down. Even though it's kind of it's probably I'm probably like the wrong person to ask because I haven't seen every Scorsese movie. Like I have seen like Kundun, and like I've seen Silence. I've seen After Hours. I've seen those more obscure like Scorsese movies, but I haven't seen all of them. Like I haven't seen his first feature movie. I haven't seen The Last Waltz. I think he did that one. I don't really remember though. But there's a few of them that I haven't seen. So like I wouldn't be the right person to like ask like what's the best Scorsese movie? And really, I am not the right person to ask what's the best movie because that's sort of like just that's based on perception for me. But anyway, yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon. Don't really know what it's about. I know that's an Apple movie, so really like you could watch it in the theater, but then in a few weeks it's gonna be out on streaming. So if you have Apple TV, then you're pretty much good to go. The Exorcist. I don't know too much about this except I think it's Blumhouse making this one. And really none of the other Exorcist movies have fared well after the first one. I mean, I'm sure they've made decent amount of money, but I think the last theatrical release of The Exorcist was Exorcist the Beginning. And I want to say that oh, what's his fucking name? I forgot his name, but he wrote Taxi Driver, and I think he directed that last one, but I'm not too sure. I could be really wrong. So don't quote me on that. But yeah, The Exorcist. They're doing like another twist to that. There's plenty of Exorcist movies that have been out this year, like the I forgot that one, but it had like a Professor X version. It was like an X-Men version of like an Exorcist movie. I just forgot what it was called. It was called The Devil's something. Anyway, they have that. The Pope's Exorcist is gonna come out with Russell Crowe. So like, there's definitely plenty of Exorcist movies that are gonna be coming out this year that no one's gonna see. And I think The Exorcist is gonna be good because, or not good. It's gonna have a lot of people wanting to see it because they're probably gonna release it at the right time. And it is a Bloodhouse movie, so it's made for dirt cheap. And they focus sometimes really on the not the scares, but just like the look and all that whatnot. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that one. Saw 10 is gonna come out this year. I don't love all the Saw movies. I love the first two like quite a bit. Like I love those movies, but then all the other sequels I'm not too big on, except for Saw 6. I like Saw 6. I felt like they kind of got back to the interesting part of the Saw franchise, which is like it's not only the traps, it's actually how people react to them, and like you get a little bit of understanding of what type of people you're dealing with when you're putting them on the traps. But then like all the other Saw movies, they're sort of like droll and like just like soap opera-ish a little bit. It's kind of cheesy and the actors are terrible. And sometimes you're just there, you're like, wow, I'm just seeing violence and gratuity for absolutely no reason. And it just they usually just make me feel bad. But it's going to be interesting just to see what they have to do now in Saw 10. And I am going to be seeing it. The next one is Dune Part 2. That's the next movie that I want to see. And that's going to be coming out later this year. Way into the end. I think at around November or December or something like that. The last Dune movie was great. I really liked it. I think that the dude really did justice to the books as much as he possibly could, and you can't fit that whole book into one movie. So it's a really good call for him to do different parts of the film. I felt that the way that the first one kind of ended was a little bit like, huh? But it was okay. Like I was like throughout the entire time I was having a really good time. And it is a slow burn kind of a movie in a way, but at least for me, I was invested into it through the special effects and through the performances out of all the actors. I think they were great. I didn't really care much for Timothée Chalamet in that movie, but I thought that he was good enough. Like it didn't matter. It's like the movie wasn't asking too much for him. Like, but he was the main character, but it wasn't like the movie was pushing too much towards him. There was so much more going on throughout that first movie that I feel like he wouldn't be able to hold it back, and he didn't try. He tried to do his best, and he did his best. I think Timothée Chalamet is a great actor, and I hope that he can come to his own in this movie. He definitely did in Bones and All. Like I never understood why people were always on his dick. I never seen Call Me by Your Name. I think that's why people really like him, but I saw Bones and All, and I thought Bones and All was incredible, and he was really fucking good in that. So, I have faith in him, and I have faith in everybody else involved, Javier Bardem, Zoe Saldana, I think that's her name, I don't remember. No, not Zoe Saldana, Zendaya, Zoe Saldana. She's not, I don't think she's in this new Dune 2 movie. But yeah, Dune Part 2. I think everybody's looking forward to that one. The next one is Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget. a sequel to the Chicken Run movie. I loved this movie as a kid, and I love the Aardmark animated studios. Like they did stuff obviously Wallace and Gromit, Shaun the Sheep, all those great products. The Angry Kid, I remember those from like shockwave.com when I was a little kid, and Flash was like a really big thing online. So yeah, I'm not expecting too much from that movie, but I absolutely love those movies. I wonder if they're gonna bring Mel Gibson back for the second Chicken Run movie, but I kind of doubt it. They're probably gonna have a whole new cast of new people, new stars from the UK probably. But yeah, the next one is David Fincher's The Killer, and that's gonna be a Netflix movie. And hell yes, I'm actually gonna go to the theater to watch that. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna actually go and watch that motherfucker because I love David Fincher. I Zodiac is amazing. He actually like Robert Downey Jr. in Zodiac is one of the best performances that I've ever seen, like in movies, and it's so laid back. Like he's not even like doing a whole lot. It's just he's just in the movie, and I don't know why. It's just there's something about Robert Downey's performance in Zodiac that really gravitated like me towards just absolutely loving the look of movies. And David Fincher really knows how to make a look for a movie. Like he uses the right lenses, the right coloring for movies. Like he has a real good understanding for those type of things. And this isn't really too. This is absolutely not any way far off from what he's usually doing. He's always making shit about killers and stuff like that. Like, come on, Seven, Gone Baby, what the fuck, Gone Girl, and all those type of fucking movies. Really looking forward to it. The next one is The Holdovers, directed by Alexander Payne. I haven't watched any of his most recent movies. I don't think. I can't remember. I remember really loving Nebraska. He's been to the Ambler Theater near my hometown, and he supposedly was a really really good sport and a really nice man, and people absolutely loved having him here. So yeah, and I just think he's a really really great director. I love About Schmidt. I loved Nebraska. I love The Descendants. Just really really great with the look of the movies. Obviously, like he has a really good look, but I just think he really really is great with actors, and he's really good at articulating the complexities of characters in films. And some people might he's so good at it that I think it goes over some people's heads sometimes. Like, whoa, like the reason why this scene's happening is because of this. Like sometimes like it adds way more. He has a way of adding more dimension into a character by sometimes not even saying anything in the movie, like not having a dialogue that expresses this person's like sense of being. You know what I mean? Like he just has a really good way of doing something like that. I heard there's gonna be a new Hunger Games movie. I mean, I don't give a shit about those movies, but like I've been to a couple dates watching those movies, and every time I went, I was like, it's cool. Um, I don't know. It's just there. I really don't care about Hunger Games. I don't know why I wrote it down. I think I wanted to talk about it. Like, did you know there's gonna be a Hunger Games movie? I don't fucking care. Past me. Anyway, a new Color Purple remake or new. They're gonna make a remake of Color Purple. I don't know how that's gonna be. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do with that one. That's really crazy because I mean the original Color Purple is incredible. Steven Spielberg, uh, fantastic director. Really really put Oprah on the map with that movie. All my life I has to fight. You know what I mean? Like that. That was a fucking great movie. And you know what? I haven't even watched that movie since like 2011. Like, but I remember watching. I remember that was one of those movies that I would watch quite a bit. Um, but yeah, looking forward to that one. I don't know who's directing it. But that's pretty interesting. A new Ghostbusters movie, I guess, is gonna be a sequel to Afterlife. And I didn't really like. I mean, I liked Afterlife for a while when I was watching it, but then like later on, like when Paul Rudd gets to Walmart, like that was cool. I didn't mind that. It was like, oh, little marshmallow men. I didn't give a shit. Like I remember I heard criticisms about that. Like people were like, oh my god, little marshmallow men. Uh, excuse me, little marshmallow men. This makes the movie horrible. It's like I don't fucking care. I don't know what it is with some critics when they're like, oh, they put in like a little version of the thing and that just makes it like you're just trying to sell. Like, I was like, fuck off. Like, I don't care. Just as long as it doesn't affect the story in a negative way, I guess. And I guess they usually do, but I don't know. It doesn't really mean anything to me. The thing that I had a problem with the Afterlife Ghostbusters movie is that it reintroduced a lot of the older things from the original movies, and it's like you didn't need to do that. Like the Ghostbusters Afterlife movie, they introduced these new characters, which the main character in the movie, the little girl, she was fucking great. She could have carried the whole movie by herself, but instead, the movie had to fucking like go on this side, and then they'd have to bring all the old shit back, which kind of ruined it for me. But yeah, they're having this newer movie, and I hope that they do something really good with it. But I don't have a lot of faith in it. But I am gonna go see it. Like that's something that I'm definitely gonna go see. The next movie is Rebel Moon, and that's a Zack Snyder movie. And I like Zack Snyder. I just don't think that he's like if it says written by, I kind of go like but he has real good hits and then he has misses. I remember when Army of the Dead came out and people were hype about that one, but I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'm not really too hip on Army of the Dead because I remember people were hype on it because he did Dawn of the Dead, the remake. He directed the remake of Dawn of the Dead, and I just didn't care for it because I knew that James Gunn he wrote the remake of Dawn of the Dead, and he didn't write Army of the Dead, so that's Zack Snyder again going fucking crazy. But yeah, Rebel Moon. I don't really know what it's about, but I know it's a Zack Snyder project, and I'm looking forward to it because he does have hits, he does have misses, and he is a good director. Like he has a vision. He always does what I love about Zack Snyder is that he does shit. Like he has something in his head and he actually puts it on screen. Like it seems like everything that he wants. So he's one of those dudes I admire. Like yes, do you, motherfucker. And that's pretty much it. This video has almost gone a half hour long, so I should stop it now. I hope you've gone along with me the entire time, and you liked this video. If you did, press like. If you dislike it. Love you guys.